Man, that theme is just stuck in my head. Welcome, guys, to Rise and Shine Movie News, and we got two big stories. One, Andrew Garfield, and the real reason why the real reason why he's not Spider-Man anymore, all right? Then we have Josh Tank. The guy is supposed to do a spin-off Star Wars movie. He's doing the reboot to Fantastic Four. Of course, he did Chronicle. He's out. He's gone. Bye-bye. You had your chance, and you blew it. I'll get to that in a minute. But let's go to Andrew Garfield. How do we know this story? How did the story come about? How do all stories come about? Hacked emails, son. Hacked emails. I think everybody's learning their lesson not to fucking email a lot of people if you're, just find a different way. Call. Just call. You don't need to email. Well, anyway, I progress. I guess you do need an email, but whatever. Why can't we do the postman thing like Kevin Costner? Have Kevin Costner rely messages. Well, anyway, so Andrew Garfield basically was in Rio de Janeiro. When I think of Rio de Janeiro, I always think of Fast and the Furious for some reason. Well, anyway, he was there for a Sony gala. Well, what he did was he's pretty much snubbed the chief executive of Sony, who is Kaz Hirai. And he's pretty much snubbed him because Kaz Hirai was doing a gala. He was doing a gala to celebrate the end of the World Cup. And he was going to do this big speech. He's going to have Andrew Garfield there. He's going to, pretty much just promote The Amazing Spider-Man 3. He's going to say, well, here's, Andrew Garfield, the talented young actor, this and that. Spider-Man 3. Not the Sam Raimi one, Spider-Man 3. So he was just going to really introduce Garfield. Garfield was supposed to attend that event. But Garfield did not. At last minute, he said, what, I ain't going. I don't want to go. And that's exactly what happened. Andrew Garfield did not want to go. And that's probably one of the reasons why they said, Andrew Garfield's out. I don't want him as Spider-Man anymore. And because in these emails, you see that, Andrew gets off the plane, he goes surfing. He does typical tourist stuff. And then they said he's under the weather a little bit. And then at last minute, he pulled out and he had a scruffy little beard. And he just wants to be left alone. And then Amy Pascal and a lot of the other executives and stuff pretty much said, this is an embarrassment, but we'll deal with it. You don't want to, piss off the chief, I guess. So that's exactly what it did. The chief was really disappointed. But freaking... Oh, freaking Kaz, man. Freaking Kaz. He pretty much writes in his email that he's just like, yeah, I love Andrew Garfield. He did, he's fantastic work on The Social Network, Spider-Man 2. He has these other movies lined up. But that didn't get me. The thing that got me was he is so delusional. He said, The Social Network is the Citizen Kane. And from, how many years in the future, it will consider to be one of the greatest monumental films ever made. What? Social Network? What? No, never. The Social Network was good, but it wasn't fantastic. It was, what? No. Delusional, dude. You're delusional. That's why Andrew Garfield passed on your ass and said, what, I ain't going to attend that gala. You. So, whatever the reason may be, this is probably one of the reasons. I thought it was a fun little story, but as Andrew Garfield, man, I mean, he does what he wants to do. It's whatever, he's cool with it. I was actually, when I read the tagline, I was actually hoping that he pretty much had fight, one-on-one fight, and say, what, you're fucking up Spider-Man. I don't want to be involved with this if you're not going to go to Marvel or something like that. But it was interesting little story, little tidbit. But Andrew Garfield, do I like him as Spider-Man? I don't. I don't think he fits Spider-Man at all. No, he's not my Peter Parker. He's not the Peter Parker that I see even Tobey Maguire. I think Tobey Maguire was a little bit better, but he still didn't fit my ideal Spider-Man, and that's just me in my opinion. I know a lot of people love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, but for me, he just didn't do it. He just did. His jokes kind of were flat. He didn't have the look for it. They made him, they tried to modernize him. I don't think that's the way to go. But then with Tobey Maguire, they just made him too much of a crybaby. It wasn't balanced. Both Spider-Man interpretations of Spider-Man were not balanced. I don't think Andrew Garfield was good as Peter, but he was good as Spider-Man. I don't think Tobey Maguire was good as, I don't want to necessarily say, well, I think he was good at some points. He hit the mark as Peter in some points, but then, he went to the crybaby phase and the dancing scenes. But he was also good as Spider-Man as well when he was doing his wisecracking remarks. I want my wisecracker, and I think Marvel's going to give us that. But we got those two candidates, so we'll see. So that's one of the stories. Let's move on to Josh Tank. Josh Tank, man. Every little detail I hear about this guy seems to not know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know. He doesn't have answers. He doesn't have leadership skills. It just seems that way. First of all, we're hearing from the story that basically that's exactly what Kathleen Kennedy and Kingbird saw in freaking Josh Tank, is his work profile, is his personality, is his overall how he takes control of his production, and he's not good at it. I mean, he has no answers. People are when you're a director, you have to be like, you got to have your answer quick. You got to be able to, if something goes wrong, you have to take advantage. You have to pretty much fix it yourself. You have to tell people what to do. You have to take command. You are the captain. Look at me. I'm the captain now. You have to take control. This guy's not doing it. This guy is, I guess there was $100,000 pretty much bill sent to him because of two dogs. I mean, doing damage into this, I believe, apartment or whatever. It was left there for like a month. I don't know what's up with that. Also, the fact that basically he had to do a lot of reshoots. I believe his behavior on set was really just like pretty much the nail in the hammer, so to speak. Especially him. I think the rumors and all that stuff are kind of true. Him being like intoxicated while going on set, showing up late. This guy just seems like this guy doesn't have everything in control, and he just honestly just doesn't know necessarily what to do when a problem arises. He relies on everybody else. And that's exactly what the story is saying. He was relying on everybody else to fix his problems because he was working on other films at the time. So they had to really pull some people to like, hey, I need you to take these actors, because these actors like Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller and all them, they were working on other films, so they had to pretty much reschedule and do reshoots, and so pretty much they had to have like a second assistant director or whatever to bring everybody in and try to just get this film done. It was just problems after problems after problems. So, I mean, what? And the assistant director? No, it's not assistant director. There's another title for it, but whatever. I'm not gonna think about it. Anyway, so. Basically, yeah, Josh Tank, man, he's tanking. He tanked it. He tanked the spinoffs pretty much film. They said, you know what, we don't like this guy's track record. We don't like his work effort. Just drop him. Let's find another director, and that's exactly what they did. They dropped him. So it's his own damn fault, honestly. I mean, if you're like I said, you're the captain. So be the captain. Even if you don't want to be the captain, this is you got a lot of responsibility. You better try your damnest and be professional about it to finish this product, to finish this film. But that's not what happened. So that's pretty much about it. Who do I want as for a director, to take over on the spin-off film from the analogy of Star Wars? You know what? I was thinking, and I don't know why. I said this in the past. I said that I would never want Steven Spielberg to direct a Star Wars film. But when I said that, I was meaning the pretty much overall, the main story, the Skywalker story, so to speak. I don't want Steven Spielberg to take that that much responsibility. That's too much. I mean, the guy already still, he's from lingering from Jaws. You know, he's and all the troubles he had on that, and Jurassic Park 2, apparently. But you know, just the responsibility of that continuity. You know, you had Mark Hamill, Han Solo, like Luke, Leia, and all them, just taking advantage of. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need, you know, Lucas in his ear all the time for that. But as a spin-off Star Wars film, I could see it happen. He doesn't have, you know, all the responsibility, honestly. He doesn't have all the weight that comes from the name Star Wars. Yeah, there is some weight, but he has the freedom to do whatever he wants on that spin-off. He doesn't have to have, you know, constant, you know, this really the Star Wars with the original trilogy, I'm going to say the Skywalker Star Wars, the main story Star Wars. That is pretty much that's the main dish. All these other spin-off Star Wars films are pretty much the cherry on top. They're the bonuses. They're the appetizers. They're the good stuff. You know, it was fantastic, but I'm ready for my main dish. Steven Spielberg, I think, I would love to see him take on a spinoff. I think he would just have so much fun doing it. He would definitely have a creative, you know, mindset of doing it. Of course, George is going to want to butt in, but he needs to push George out of the way and say, I want to do this. This is my Star Wars movie. And, you know, I won't be messing up all your, you know, your original work. I'll be doing, you know, it's pretty much a homage, a tribute to you that check out this film and I want to do it. I think this Spielberg would be amazing for a spin-off movie. If he, you know, George, you know, steps back and just lets him do his thing. And also he has a relationship with Kennedy, so it would be amazing if he gets on board with that. And, you know, Spielberg he's been hit and miss definitely over the years. He hasn't, his prime was pretty much done. It's like Scorsese. You know, I thought Wolf of Wall Street was good, but wasn't as good as his old stuff. He's pretty much past his prime. But I think Spielberg would have a lot of fun. I still believe in Spielberg, and I think he definitely could really bring something to the table for this spin-off series, or whatever it is. And I would love to see a spin-off Star Wars series, like I heard from previously reports of a Seven Samurai type deal with Jedis. That would be amazing. I wish that happened. So we'll see what goes on. Steven Spielberg, that's what comes to mindset. I think I would love to see him do a spin-off Star Wars movie than the actual main story as it is. So thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, like, let me know your thoughts on these two stories. Andrew Garfield was pretty neat little fun little one. The sources will be down below in the description box so you can read them yourself and let me know. So thank you guys for listening, and till next time, enjoy the fight, Manny versus Floyd.